Dobrinka.
Hi, Joe.
I like your name to begin with,
Thank you.
Dobrinka.
It means someone who does good.
Well,
I have very optimistic parents.
you have. And I think it matches with what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah. How was it to play the piano on TV for you?
Nerve-wracking.
Nerve-wracking.
Yes, I'm used to being behind the cameras, not in the front for playing.
Yeah, because you're a composer,
That's
a renowned
right.
composer, but obviously you studied piano. It's your tool for composing.
That's right.
But you never dreamt of being a pianist.
No. I get stage fright and I forget everything that you think you shouldn't think. It floods into my mind. It's something like the muscle memory just goes. It's just some kind of a paralysis between the brain and the muscles just goes.
Really?
I think.
Did you always have that?
No, I think the older you become, the more you start to doubt yourself. So do things while you're young and then...
Okay. What were your ideas about what you wanted to become in music?
I started with improvising. It was all very much my passion. Mm-hmm. My parents, the whole family, they're not musicians. So it's not like something that I was born into. But they all love music and there was always like a large LP collection playing at home. So I just through osmosis, I think I just inherited it, that kind of love. And asked my parents if I can start piano lessons. Mm. And as soon as I could get my hands around the piano, I was improvising my own things. Mm. I didn't realize that's what you call composition or improvising. It was just what I did to express myself, to say something. Yeah. And then that grew into composition, writing it down, then starting to think about, oh, that's 5 minutes and I'm in charge of how those 5 minutes are structured. And yes. It's unbelievable. You can spend 3-4 months working on 10 minutes of really intense material, and I think that's the amazing thing about music, that it's so intense, such intense communication.
Yeah. Is that also the biggest difference between being a composer and a musician? The route, exactly. The way you go about music?
I think so. It's I think about personality, because as a musician, sometimes as a performer, you are almost like a sprinter. You train to do that 500 meters, 100 meters, just, and it's the concert and it's the adrenaline and you...
That moment.
And I think composition is more like marathon runner. You just have to pace yourself over 3-4 months to really have that patience and know how to pace your energy also. And really it's a lot of just focus and patience. Yeah.
And then at a certain point you let it go.
Yes, exactly. It's
out
not
of
in my hands. Yes.
Yeah. You played 2 pieces. One of them was a multitude.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the way you were wanted to express yourself. Is that like was that your early way of expressing yourself?
Both those pieces are quite early. So the very first one, which is called Nocturne, I wrote maybe about 10 years ago. And it's very nocturnal, like Chopinesque, but in the 21st century. Mm-hmm. And then the second piece is, I was inspired by Bartók's Microcosmos. There's volumes of etudes for children, and then not so much for children, really complex ones. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them are folk influenced, so I think that was somewhere in my mind. And yes, they were written when I was about 15. So yes.
Yeah. You started then already.
Yeah.
You went to France for a course. It was like a camp, something like that.
That's right.
And something happened there. It was like an eye-opening sort of, I don't know, week, month?
Yeah,
what was
it was a few weeks in the south of France. I applied in London to study for composition. This was my first formal composition training. And so I began when I was about 11, 12. And on one of the notice boards there was an invitation to go to a summer course to apply. And I applied, and it was in the south of France, the Centre-Cante, which is a very prestigious summer course for composition, for contemporary music. And I was I got a place as a 15-year-old, and all of the other students were
Much older.
undergraduates, and they were, yes, they were much more mature. And I was the youngest there, and a girl. It was very strange, but the perfect thing just to be plunged into that world. And I met there one of my composing heroes, Yannis Xenakis, a fantastic Greek composer who began as an architect. So his music is just really structural, and the sounds are amazing. And I really wanted to show him some of my scores. And I had an opportunity to just have a few minutes with him and show him some of the pieces.
And what did he say?
And he just turned to me after about a couple of minutes of silence and just said, "Don't be afraid to be different." And that was a real moment, because I already felt quite different from all the other students there, the undergraduates with very complex pieces, very developed pieces, and mine were something like these moditudes. They had also melodies and triads and just something quite recognizable.
Yeah.
And in a way to have that said by someone who I admire so much, and there is so much...
But also made quite different kind of compositions. So for him to tell you that...
Yeah, it just felt like, okay, I'll just continue on this road and see how it develops.
And maybe it's something you always kept in mind during your career, maybe.
Absolutely. It's
dare to be different.
Definitely.
Yeah. You are here for a very special project, and I think the people you work with also agree with what I just said, like the descriptions of the way you write. The brothers Arthur and Lucas Jussen and Amsterdam Sinfonietta. Let's take a look at what you did for them.
Yeah. The start was a concert actually almost 10 years ago with Amsterdam Sinfonietta. It was the first time that we worked together, and they premiered my cello concerto with the Cello Biennale. So as soon as this happened, I think we just really clicked artistically, and they said we have to make something happen in the future. And a few years later they contacted me that there was this tour which they were planning with the Jussen brothers, and would I be interested in writing something. So I've known for a few years about this concerto, and it was just, I couldn't wait to work with Amsterdam Sinfonietta again, and also just to meet also the Jussen brothers and to have this interaction, to have this youthful vibrancy of performing. It's called Together Remember to Dance. Each of the movements, the first movement is together, the second remember, the third dance, and then collectively, that's how the title came about. And the idea is to have something which makes you think, but also is quite uplifting as a general. I'd like people to leave the concert hall feeling somehow uplifted and energized. So also to have such energetic musicians perform it, that was also in my mind, to have something that
so it all comes together.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. Let's listen to you once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dobrinka.
Thank you, Joe.